Welcome to Two Tangles Tuesday, where we do two tangles in 20 minutes or less. Today we're doing Aleuba and Trilege. So let's do Aleuba first. All right. So I am going to make kind of a curved line like that. And another like that. And then I'm going to aura these. Alrighty, so let's do Aleuba. So the first step that I'm going to do is I'm going to do an Aleuba part in kind of the middle. All right. So what you do is you draw a big orb and then next to it a smaller one, and next to that an even smaller one. And then you color in the little spaces between. Now, for me, since I'm drawing on camera, I have to turn this around so that I can see what size my little orbs are, so that I can make them similar size. Because my hand gets in the way and blocks it and I can't see. But we're supposed to turn our tiles, right? And then make sure that all these are colored in. There we go. And now we're going to aura this. Okay. Now I'm going to go on this side and do one on each side of this. For Aleuba, we don't do them. You can do them across from each other, but that's not how the original step outs went. So I'm just going to do it like the original ones. So that is basically Aleuba. This is a really fun tangle that you could use as a border and just anything. So I'm not going to put anything in the middle right now because I want to do the other tangle first before I do that. So now we're going to do Trilege. And Trilege is pretty interesting. So I am going to actually start in the middle here. What I want to have is 4 kind of half moon, crescent moon type things. So 1, 2, okay. And then what we do is we order these, and we order these pretty high like this. Okay. Well, that one's not very high, but that's okay. And then we're going to put in an orb. And then we're going to put in some petals, but we're not going to put them directly on the orb because they end up looking like radishes. So, and I'm not trying to make radishes. So I'm going to actually put them up like this. And I think what I'm going to do is put orbs in the middle of here. Alrighty. Okay. And now what I am going to do is put a little dot up here at the top. I think it definitely needs a little bit extra. So I'm gonna make sure that these orbs are nice and outlined. And then let me get my smaller pen. And I'm gonna put some stripes in here. I'm gonna skip where my orb is, like we would if we were doing something with the Aleuba method. Okay, and so that is how I'm going to decorate that part. And so what I can do, going back to Aleuba, is sometimes you kind of ink in the negative space there, and I think I'm gonna do that, but first I'm gonna aura these one more time. And I am going to use my very large 0.8 micron. So now I'm going to let that dry. So I'm going to finish off this tile. So now I am going to shade. So the first thing that I'm going to do is on these little edges here of these little shapes. And then I'm going to do the top petal at least. I think that I'm going to color this orb in all the way. All right, and then I want to add a little bit down here. Alrighty, now let's get to the abuelas. One of the reasons that I put the double aura in there is so that, let's see, I think what I'm going to do is, well, I'm going to shade these big orbs. I'm not sure I could get there in the little ones, so we'll have to see. And then what I was going to do is shade this other outline. I don't want to do it too dark, but I do want there to be a little bit of a change in levels of graphite between this and the circles, the orbs. And you can see here the difference between how it looks without it and how it looks with it. And you can decide to do it without it if you would like. And that is going to be my Aleuba and Tri-Ledge. Aluba and Tri-Ledge